Now let us see the fissures. The horizontal fissure that is separating the superior and inferior surface. Then we have the fissura prima that is separating the cerebellum into anterior lobe and the posterior lobe or the middle lobe. So what you are seeing here is the posterior lobe or the middle lobe. This posterior lobe or the middle lobe always occupies both the superior surface as well as the inferior surface. Now we can see another fissure, that is a posterolateral fissure. Posterolateral fissure. This is seen on the inferior surface. Now this will separate the flocculonodular lobe from the posterior lobe or the middle lobe. So we have the lobes. When we take the lobes, we have the anterior lobe. So this is the anterior lobe of either hemispheres. Then we have the posterior lobe or the middle lobe. So anteriorly these two are separated by the fissura prima. Then there is a horizontal fissure that is separating the superior surface from the inferior surface. Then here we have the posterolateral fissure that is separating the flocculonodular lobe from the posterior lobe or the middle lobe. So that completes the fissures. Now we will see the, so this is again at the picture. Here you can see clearly this is the anterior lobe and this is the posterior or the middle lobe and the flocculonodular lobe. So I have told you it is a higher center for proprioception. Now proprioception is considered as the sixth sense, that is body's ability to sense itself in the space. So that is proprioception. And another sense is also defined, that is seventh sense, that is interoception. That is body's ability to sense from inside. So the ability to dance or the judging the distance and move without looking, all these comes under proprioception. Now, how will you test proprioception? That is, so ask the patient to stand with the hands close to body and close the eyes, and how well the body balance is maintained. That is how you test the proprioception. That test is called as Romberg test. So Romberg test is the test for the proprioception. So now we will see the subdivisions of cerebellum. So here you can see that the lobes are divided into, so there is subdivision of this vermis is also subdivided and the lobes are also subdivided. Now the anterior lobe, the vermis is divided into lingula, central lobule, culmen. And corresponding to lingula there is no lateral projection, but corresponding to the central lobule we have the ala, then we have the quadrangular lobule. Now the posterior lobe, the divisions of vermis are declive, folium, tuber, pyramid and uvula. Now correspondingly we have the lobulus simplex, superior semilunar lobule, then inferior semilunar lobule, biventral lobule and the tonsil. So all these come under the posterior lobe. Then we have the flocculonodular lobe, which is consisting of the nodule of vermis and the flocculus. Now let us see the subdivisions, that is called as, based upon the phylogenetic criteria, it is divided into archicerebellum, that is the oldest part, then paleocerebellum and the neocerebellum. Neocerebellum is the newest and the paleo is the middle between the old and new. Now the component of archicerebellum is the shown in violet, that is lingula and the flocculonodular lobe. So these form the archicerebellum. Now the main function is the maintenance of equilibrium. Now coming to the paleocerebellum. So this includes the whole of the anterior lobe, shown in pink. That is the whole of anterior lobe except the lingula plus pyramid and uvula. And it controls the crude movement of the limbs. So that is paleocerebellum controlling the crude movement of the limbs, whereas archicerebellum, that is maintenance of equilibrium. Then we have the neocerebellum, that is consisting of the whole of the posterior lobe except the pyramid and the uvula. Whole of the posterior lobe except the pyramid and uvula. So shown in yellow. So that is the neocerebellum. And it is concerned with the skilled voluntary movements. So you can remember the flocculo-nodal lobe, that is responsible for maintaining the position of body in space. That is by the word flock of birds. So that is how you can remember. Then we have the deep cerebellar nuclei, that is from lateral to medial. We have the dentate nucleus, that is having a crumpled back appearance, the large dentate nucleus. Then we have the emboliform, globose and fastigial. So from lateral to medial we have dentate, emboliform, globose and fastigial nucleus. These are the deep cerebellar nuclei.